So he enjoys the show. Like the guy that realizes that the train is not moving, and the guy doesn't go too wild, and he looks at his ticket, is going north, this guy is going south, I'm going, so wait a minute, but this is the right ticket, why you took it? Check the ticket, oh yeah, we're going north. And that guy seems to be, hey, it is nothing but a train going by, that's all it is. It makes me have this sense. And you know what? Then you laugh at the whole thing. The wise person, Sita Pragna, in other words, the Brahmanishta, just laughs at the whole thing. So then it is fun. It is fun. Like last night, night before last, I dreamt about this fellow, gave me $7,000, in a check. Right away. Wow, that's amazing. And then, oh my God, it was nothing but a dream. So I woke up and I laughed at the whole thing. It was so grand in one shot, I can take care of all kinds of stuff. An old friend of mine, my first boss, I dreamt about him. He passed away. He gave me $7,000. Like that, it was just such a joy, it was nothing there, it was just funny, I could have been depressed, oh my God, it was nothing but a dream, but it was just fun, look at this, I get so elated by it. You wake up, you see the whole thing is nothing but a big show, wonderful show. So, I just wanted to focus on a question. What is the question I presented? How is it that Atma is Brahman? Now, it is for each one of us to discover it. But we need to have somehow the viveka to be able to, in other words, even in words, to be able to come up with it. And I want to arrive at that. And not only that, don't say Atma, the self. Say I. Listen please. I am Brahman. Who told you that? Brahmana. What is the Brahmana? The Brahmana is my mother. Who's mother?
Shruti.
The Shastra. And who's the Shastra? God's word. I need to take it like that. If I don't take it like that, then it becomes intellectual exercise only. The whining will continue. This is transcendental knowledge that breaks away the barriers. I'm gonna read the paragraph again. The steady knowledge, jnana nishta, that had been the topic of Krishna's teaching from the beginning, is steadfastness in Brahman, Brahmanishta. In between, Karma Yoga was pointed out, and Arjuna's question concerning the definition of Asita Prajna was answered, this same steady wisdom being again mentioned. Jnananishta means steady knowledge, and Brahmanishta is one whose knowledge is that Atma is Brahman. This is the knowledge called Brahmanishta that is being praised here in the last verse of the second chapter. Karma Yoga was presented. Why was Karma Yoga presented? What was the point?
Because it was preparing the knowledge for the purification of the mind.
That's correct. Purification, what does that mean? What does purification mean?
To prepare the mind.
But how is it prepared?
Because
Get rid of all the negativity. Get rid of all the negativity.
Negativity?
No, you have the Ishvara and those two legs that you talked about.
Right. In other words, the get rid of all. Look, you have a head. You guys know this. You have a head that's going to be going on a car. The head. It's a piece of metal. It's got the holes for the valves and everything, isn't it? It's got the holes for the water, doesn't it? And you don't just take the head and put it on and put the gasket in, that's it. That head needs to be what? Honed, machined. Is that true? You cannot just put it on it. It has to be worthy of putting on top of the head of the car. If a mechanic is trying to save money, or if I, as a fool, try to just save myself the bucks, I just put it on. It looks good. The thing could be warped, isn't it? And the water goes in the wrong place, and the oil goes in the wrong place, isn't it? And the compression is gone, and the car won't run. It will do. That's it. Ain't gonna there's no car. So the head needs to be honed machine. The cylinders need to be honed machine, isn't it? Because it could be what?
Line.
It could be, instead of being perfectly cylindrical, or too big on the top and too little on the bottom, it has to be honed to become even. So the piston goes in, isn't it? The pistons have to be rectified. All this stuff. So you'll be available and fit to make the engine run. So this knowledge of who I am, cannot take place if I don't hone the inner personality. And what is the waviness of the, in other words, in the head is just warped, isn't it? What is the warping of the human personality? Driven by likes and dislikes. Is that right? Mm-hmm. I am completely at the mercy of likes and dislikes. And then I do, and I take that what I do, I take and own up the successes and the failures, I end the failure, and so on, or I blame everybody else. I need to take into account something that will actually free me for that, which is a fact. First of all, when I perform an act, this is karma yoga. When I perform an act, any karma that I perform, once I perform the karma, the action, the results are not in my hand. You can say they're in the hands of the universe, you can say that. And if I say that the universe is a body of God, the laws of the universe are nothing but God Himself. Not a person, but the laws that rule the entire thing. I have no knowledge and no control over that at all. So I take the results as they come as coming from my Lord. Now that takes away the warping of my head and of my heart. Is that right? And not only that, as I relate to others, this is another leg. As I relate to others, again, I use dharma.
Yeah.
Dharma means what? First of all, I accept myself. This is the first thing. I had to accept myself as I am. Male, female, or something in between, I accept myself. Now I love myself. Okay? And then because I love myself, I accept my own shortcomings even. I try to improve upon it, but I don't have a fight with myself. I'm not in conflict with myself. And not only that, at the same time, I'm not in conflict with my lot. I take it as part of this. This is laws I have no control of. And not only that, when I relate to others and to the environment, I relate in line with what is right, not with what I wish it was, likes and dislikes. And again, that hones my head and it hones my heart. That makes me fit for self-knowledge. So, Lord Krishna is bringing this karma yoga, which is the honing of the inner personality, as a preparation for the person to receive this, to be able to own up oneself. Without that, it's impossible. Because conflicts become impediments. And not created by anyone or anything. Neither the weather nor other people, nor my lot, is because of my distorted perception, which the ego rules. See the idea? So I have to actually recognize that it's laws in the universe, I have no control. So I take everything that comes, the karma phala, the results of karma, as prasad. Prasad means as a gift that comes from the altar of the Lord. Any way I can conceive Him. And that in that way, then a lot of my roughness disappears.
Smoothened out.
Yeah. I use this head example because it has to do with the head. I got a mistake. I got a confusion here. And this confused mind creates all these kinds of problems. Actually, it makes me sick even physically. It makes me sick in relationships. It makes me sick at work. That's why I'm so angry at work. That's why I'm so disappointed all the time. Because this head is distorting the reality. And that's why my heart suffers. And a heart that's aching cannot gain this knowledge. But the aching of the heart should be a call that there is something going wrong. There's something not been approached properly. You know what I'm talking about, right? We tried to put a spark plug. I want to go back to the car. We tried to put a spark plug in the car, okay? And the spark plug has got a thread, and the hole in which it goes, it's got a thread on it. So you should be able to start it by hand, isn't it? But the thing doesn't start by hand. You push it, and you start wrenching it. And the thing, so you finally got it in. But the thing, you actually cross-threaded it. The car won't run. That's why we have all these problems, we try to force things, like that. We try to, our will is the one that, listen, surrender. This thing is God is Dharma. Thread there, thread here, you should be able to finger start it. And when you put it on, you don't just tighten it up. There's a particular design, it's supposed to match so much torque. There's a torque wrench. If you go and tighten it up, it's not going to work. And if you leave it too loose, it's not going to work. So you have to get a torque wrench. Now sometimes some mechanics are good and just go to a certain point, they know, but you have to have torque wrench and say click, 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 got it. Somebody said, hey, that's not enough. Listen, leave it alone. I know. There's a manual. Manual says that's how much. Then nothing tries. So in the same way here, we try to force things. It's called self-will. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. So we try to make others be the way we want them to be. And then we ask ourselves, how come they don't come to us? And when they come to us, they come, but they don't come. They're here, but they're not here. Because Dharma was not there. You didn't follow the Dharma things of engagement. The Dharma of engagement. So that you have to respect. And who's the wielder of Dharma? It's nothing but the Lord. The rules of the universe. Just as you like to be respected, you respect others. Just as you like to be accommodated, you accommodate others. And so on and so on. You don't arrogate something to yourself that doesn't belong to you. Amanituam, adamituam. Remember that? Remember those? Amanituam, adamituam. The 19 values?
Mm-hmm.
So Lord Krishna brings karma yoga and all that for the sake of making the student fit for this knowledge to take place, so that the theme will function. In other words, so you can actually, go through life without tearing yourself apart and without tearing the world apart and without tearing others apart. That's the whole idea of this. We're going to leave it at that, okay? We didn't go very far, I know that. But this needs to be unfolded like that.
Karma yoga is very close to honing.
Yeah. Yeah, honing. Honing the personality. Because all these likes and dislikes rule our life.